Patterns of long-distance trade connected North African and Mediterranean world with the interior of West Africa, and it was rooted in environmental variation. That's why they wanted to trade. And sub-Saharan Africa was divided into two ecological zones: the savanna grasslands, south of Sahara, with grain crops, and the forest regions farther south, and they had root and tree crops. The variations are what provided the incentive for the trade. And the Sudan was the earliest long-distance trade in the area, and Gino was the Niger River Valley civilization city, and it was one example of urban centers in the region, and they emerged due to internal trade.
Okay, and this is our representation of sand.
This is a camel.
Camel. The main source of travel were camels because they could last 10 days without water, and mainly the people in Africa, they sought for gold, which was first transported by the donkeys, and then across the desert they were transported by the camels. Popular demands were like African ivory, cola nuts, slaves, and salt. The caravans were huge. They consisted of like 5,500 camels and hundreds of people. The journey took about 70 days and about 15 to 25 miles, and they mostly traveled at night since it was cool.
Long-distance trade across Sahara, incentive and resources for making and larger political structures. West Central Sudan best between two areas of trade. Slaves began as women, men did government labor, most from non-Islamic southern states. Early on in West Africa, most slaves had been women, acting as domestic slaves and acting as a second wife with few rights, or a concubine. Some slaves were sent to the wealthy Islamic homes and some to Europe.
Ibn Battuta returned home to Morocco with 600 female slaves from Mali. And then the commercial centers were Kaoumbi, Saleh, Timbuktu, Gao, Gobir, and Cana.